Funny I didn't hear you knock, Obi.
I had to talk to you.
You have been working with AIM.
Don't look so surprised.
Why?
Because you won't work with me, Tony. You're selfish. You always have been.
You better get out of here, Stain. How could you do business with AIM? They're a sick bunch of...
Don't get on your high horse, Tony. Stark Industries is no better than they are. Your Iron Man suit is an incredible invention. You're Mona Lisa, and you're keeping it to yourself. Imagine what the Pentagon could do with an army of Iron Men.
And imagine what the bad guys could do.
Can't control that. You can only make the best product possible and bring it to market first.
You're gonna need to leave before I have you arrested.
I have your original Iron Man suit.
What? How?
Some men will do anything for money, Tony. Even you should understand that. The suit is a marvel. Only one problem. No power source. Even money, it seems, can't produce one. We've tried. Nobody's as smart as you, Tony.
And they never will be.
Your life's been a waste, Tony. But your death will be a gift to the world.
Tony, it's Rhodey. They've got Pepper.
Tony, take it easy. You shouldn't even be alive after that.
I have to find Pepper. You're sure she's here?
No doubt about it. Our intel says it's an AIM research facility.
I'll take care of this. You find Stain. I see a gate at the bottom of the dam.
Yes, sir. The control panel for the gate is located behind that large window. Gate is open.
Welcome to the PS2's version of the mission where we save Pepper from AIM. It's not quite as creative as the original, but it does try to make up for that by giving you a lot more to do. The majority of the level does still take place in one large central area, but we also have this on the way there, which, wasn't in the PS3 version. And some of the enemies are actually getting almost genuinely difficult to fight, like these guys in battle suits, or I guess they're automated battle suits. It's hard to tell. I'm gonna go with automated. This level's concept and the idea behind the gameplay is almost the same as the PS3 version, even if, as I said, they added more to do. The next level is the farthest from the PS3 version.
Any sign of Stain?
He's disappeared. He took the Stark jet. There's no recorded flight plan.
That son of a bitch.
I like that even in this universe, everything is still named after Stark. The Stark jet, the Stark car, the Stark skateboard. That little bit of dialogue about Obadiah is relatively interesting because we don't learn exactly how he got away in the PS3 version, but then again, we didn't really need to. We know he has the resources to escape however he wants.
This is the place. Any idea where Pepper is?
No can do, Tony. They've got countermeasures. Can't even see you.
Jarvis, what's happening?
3 EMP transmitters detected in the area, sir. My systems are breaking down.
Those EMPs need to go. I need my radar to find Pepper, and if you're not around, I'm just gonna end up talking to myself.
In this version, there are 3 EMP towers around that are blocking our system functions, including our repulsors, but luckily we can still fly. Luckily, it only takes one hit from our fists, and the towers just go kaboom. We do still have access to our Gatling gun and our missiles, but those are almost useless right now, as you're seeing. We could use our rockets, but then we would have to go find an ammo box to refill them. And really, we just want our repulsors back. If there's one thing that can be said about this part of the level, it's incredibly easy to get knocked out of the air, if not necessarily hurt. Still fairly easy to avoid taking damage if you move quickly enough. The enemy layout is still a step up from everything else we've seen so far, and it's much more intelligent. It's important for games like this to account for the path of least resistance, unless they have something to distract you from that path so you wouldn't even think of using it. This level does account for that, because you get shot no matter what you do. And that's actually a good thing.
EMP transmitters destroyed. Systems fully operational.
Welcome back, Jarvis.
In a lot of games, the path of least resistance can easily be ignored because the combat is so fun that you wouldn't even think to skip enemies or just run past them or anything like that. But while this game is very arcadey, the combat by itself isn't fun. It's fairly mindless, and you don't really get a sense of satisfaction that you might get from other mindless action games. Shooting enemies with your repulsors feels a lot more like blowing up really explosive plushies than actual enemies. The PS3 version gets around the issue of not having traditionally satisfying sound effects or enemy explosions simply by having the game become so rapid fire, so hectic. The PS2 version, on the other hand, is not nearly as hectic as the PS3 counterpart, which means that it's a lot more boring when you have to take out multiple enemies.
This is Pepper calling. Come in. Tony!
Pepper,
You have to leave. They're using me as bait.
I'm not going anywhere. Are you alright?
I'm fine. Just be careful, okay?
Sit tight. I got you.
So in this version, when we defend the reactor, there is no flurry of missiles. They're just enemies that spawn in a circle around the reactor, and we have to hover around the reactor and destroy them all before they blow it up. Not nearly as creative, but still challenging. The reactor does get destroyed fairly quickly. Another change is that all the enemies that target the reactor are almost entirely ground-based. Not very many flying enemies to worry about. If you remember, in the PS3 version, almost all the enemies that attacked the reactor were in the air. The biggest threat to the reactor is the tanks, but there's not very many of those, and they also act as free health pickups if you use your QuickTime event to defeat them. So yeah, the sense of tension from the PS3 version, that's gone here, but you can't say they didn't at least try to keep it challenging. And as I said near the beginning of the level, the new battlesuit enemies are almost genuinely tough to fight. That being said, this is the entire rest of the level, and even though in the PS3 version the entire level is just this, there's much more to it than this. What you're seeing here is what we're going to be doing across the whole thing. So we're going to skip ahead a bit so we can see what the PS2's version of the climax is.
Incoming missiles detected. Missiles are targeting the main reactor.
Why would they target their own reactor?
Pepper's in there.
I understand it may be too thrilling for humans, so I'm just going to speed it up a little bit to try and alleviate that.
Missile launch system detected, sir. Marked on radar.
Rhodes, I'm shutting down the main computer. That should stop the missiles.
Talk to me, Tony.
It's over.
This is absolutely out of control. I'm gonna talk to Washington and see if I can...
No, this is my responsibility.
Tony,
I'm bringing Pepper home.